I refused to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding. My wife passed away when my sons were 7 and 4. For years, it was just the three of us trying to figure out life without her. Then I met someone who understood loss. My new wife had been through her own divorce and had a 13-year-old daughter. When we got married 12 years ago, my sons were 13 and 8, and my stepdaughter was 13 too. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was determined to be a good father figure to her. From day one, I treated her like my own. I'd wake up early to make her breakfast, drive her to school every morning, and never missed a single one of her dance recitals or school plays. When she wanted to join an expensive art program, I worked extra hours to afford it. I paid for the best private school in our area because I wanted her to have every opportunity. For Christmas and birthdays, I'd spend hours picking out gifts I thought she'd love. But it never seemed to be enough. She'd open my gifts without a thank you. At dinner, she'd barely talk to me. When I asked about her day, she'd give one-word answers and leave the room. My wife kept telling me to be patient, that she just needed time to adjust. So I waited and waited. The breaking point came at her high school graduation. My eldest son had invited my wife to his graduation the year before because he saw her as part of his life. I thought my stepdaughter would do the same for me. But she only invited her mother and grandmother. When I asked why I wasn't invited, she didn't even hesitate. She said, "You're not my dad. You didn't raise me, and I don't want you in my life." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My wife told me she was just being a moody teenager, but those words stuck. Still, I didn't give up. I paid for her entire college education, tuition, housing, just like I did for my sons. I figured maybe one day she'd understand that I genuinely cared. A few months ago, my wife came home excited and told me her daughter was engaged. I was genuinely happy. I went out and bought a cake, balloons, and champagne. I even invited my son so we could celebrate together. Then, the night before, my stepdaughter called and said she'd changed her mind. She wanted my wife to come to her apartment to celebrate. Just the two of them. I was disappointed, but I still called to congratulate her. And when her fiancé asked who she was talking to, she said, "Just my mom's husband," and hung up. That one hurt. Still, I hoped maybe she'd let me walk her down the aisle, or at least have a father-daughter dance. But she made it clear there'd be no father-daughter moment because I wasn't her father. That was it for me. Last week, my wife sat me down to talk about money. The wedding was going to cost around $40,000, and my stepdaughter expected me to pay for it, since my wife doesn't work. I just sat there thinking about everything. 12 years of rejection, 12 years of trying to be a father, and now she wanted me to write a check for $40,000? I told my wife no. I said she could use her savings if she wanted to contribute, but I wasn't paying for the wedding. My wife was furious. She said I was being petty and cruel, that I was ruining her only daughter's big day. She said she barely had $8,000 saved and it wasn't enough. Within hours, her whole family started calling me, saying I was selfish and heartless. But here's the thing, if I'm not her father, then I don't have a father's obligations. You can't reject someone for over a decade and then expect them to fund your wedding.